Welcome to Cards of Insight, where we discuss all things tarot. And I'm Greg, and I live in London.
Anna here, joining you all the way from sunny Brazil.
Susan here. I'm here in Canada.
And Pavlina, greetings from London, UK.
And we are all tarot readers. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. You know when we do because I was thinking people making assumptions, right? Do you know, I always tell my friends, well, I tell everybody, even if they don't want to hear it. Do you know how to spell assume? You spell assume because you make an ass out of you and me. So you shouldn't assume. And often when we get questions, I'm sure you can all agree, is people make assumptions. And so when you do a tarot reading, and if you agree to the assumptions, then you automatically might be assuming wrong, both reader and the person asking the question. And what we mean by that is, like, for example, here's a question. And somebody comes to you and somebody would say, is my husband or my wife having an affair? And can I ask what's wrong with that?
Well, it's an assumption, like you just stated. Well, you're assuming that one of the two people is having an affair. But the thing is, until you start asking questions, you don't know where that's coming from by that person asking the question.
So what you mean is, like, if I say, why is my girlfriend having an affair? Well, what makes me say she's actually having an affair?
That's right. I would be saying, well, like, why do you think that?
Yeah. What were the signs?
Yeah,
Right?
what were the
did you
signs?
see to assume that? I mean, did you see him kissing someone else, or did you find
Or just because
what were
they're
the indications?
Did you find the proof? Yeah. Do you have any
yeah,
proof?
or if they're just they're doing their job and they're being later than usual, but they're actually doing a job. So that's quite a different thing than actually witnessing something to actually assuming, as we're talking about, where that's what we need to clarify in that question is, did you visually see something regarding this person, or is it just because they didn't show up on time that you're assuming that there was someone else?
Yeah.
Or is it just your gut feeling? Right?
Yeah, is it just a gut feeling? So it's like we need to look at rephrasing that question or understanding where is that question coming from so that we can do a proper reading.
So just by doing what you've done now, you've opened hundreds of avenues, because the person could be insecure, or maybe the person's got a bubbly personality and people like them, so they think they're flirty, or maybe the partner's doing it to get back at their current partner to make them jealous, but they're not really having an affair. Now, all of a sudden, we've got hundreds of questions.
Sure.
So now we're not like restricted to our assumption in the beginning, because an assumption you could be right, you could be wrong.
And if the client says, well, I think he's having an affair because he's been distant. I mean, he hasn't talked to me a lot. He's somewhere. It looks like he's not there. And then you can ask, why is he acting that way? That's more precise and it's more focused.
And it's a case of also, have they even sat down and talked to the person to say, why are you seeming so cold lately? And then it's a case of, okay, what are they saying to you? They could say, well, I can't really talk about it, which is a different thing than saying, well, I'm really concerned about my sister. Something more to the story, which makes a big difference. They're just being people, right? They're having a difficult time emotionally, so they're not giving the attention to their spouse. So that doesn't mean have anything to do with an affair.
Many times in the reading, I've seen the husband or wife, they are working on very tough deadline. and their mind is about, I have to keep this job and I have to work hard, right?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
Sometimes it's
obviously, if the person is a known flirt, is always flirting with the other people in front of them, then that has a different concern to it. It's more legitimate as to, okay, what are they really, is that their nature, or do they actually, have they got a history? And that's something to ask the person too. Have they ever had affairs before? And this is why you're asking.
And Greg also mentioned that the person asking this question may be insecure. So every tiny thing may, look huge. The person looked at them in the weird way, then they think something's wrong. So it does depend on who is asking the question.
And
Really.
again, that could be age. If if it's a very
Mhm.
young people, as a man, or is it these are older people,
Mhm.
older married people, like that makes a difference as well as, which means if a couple has had a lot of history together, then there might be more to what they're thinking about and asking this question. Whereas if they're really young, well, anything could be there. It could be just plain insecurity. Not that there's not insecurity in an older relationship, but it makes a difference.
sometimes it can be like harmless. Like, say for example, the partner likes to flirt. He will never ever have an affair with you. He loves you. You're the best thing that God's ever sent them, right? They will never ever have an affair, but they like flirting and they like playing that game. And everybody knows that they're married and they're very proud of the ring that they wear, but they just like to flirt. It's just fun to them. It's harmless. So that's all it could be. But the person, and if they're insecure, it's going to make it worse, that sees this is obviously, because that would annoy me too, right? And you think, well, if he does that in front of me or she does that in front of me, what do they do when I'm not around? And they're all coming back from work lately.
Mm.
And so, it starts to become a big hundreds of questions. So you have to really get down to the question. What are they really asking? What do they really want? What do they really see? And we can test this. I mean, we can ask, for example, is my girlfriend or my husband or my boyfriend having an affair? And we can pull a card out and all these hundreds of questions, because we haven't made an assumption, we've now opened up hundreds of questions, but we can now isolate it a lot better because we've asked these questions and we can take a card. We could test the theory. So we could test that theory. Is my husband or wife having an affair? And we could draw a card now with all these hundreds of questions. So we draw a card. I've got the page of coins. So, is my wife having an affair? I've got the page of coins.
She wants to look young. She's spending the money on beauty.
I would say, yeah, she's not having an affair. She's got a coin.
Well, the other question you could be asking is, once you determine, okay, the question could be, if there's something, if they're being cold or whatever, it could be, okay, let's just ask what's going on in the other person's life.
So
Yes.
why is the person acting that way? For
Yeah.
example, if the
Yeah.
person is cold and I pick a card, for example, the Hermit. The
Yeah.
Hermit for me is about old age. Maybe the
Mhm.
person is cold because they're feeling ugly. They're getting wrinkles, the hair is turning gray, they don't think they're attractive anymore. So it really depends on what the indication is. What are the signs you're seeing? As you said,
Yeah.
perhaps the person is, just different.
Well,
different.
and to be fair, especially if someone is insecure, they're probably acting very angry themselves and very, cold themselves. So the other person, naturally would pull back and say, well, what's wrong with you? So now you've got two cold people, not really, their body language and the language that they're speaking is making them both shut down in the relationship.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying is there's lack of communication. So
Mhm.
where do we come in as readers. If they're not communicating, because they could just talk to each other, right? And fix their problems. I mean, why are you acting that way? And she would say, well, I feel insecure because I'm getting old, so on and so forth. Now, sometimes people don't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
So where do we come in? It's not snooping, it's just giving them ways and tools how to approach, for example, if a person is insecure, okay, how can you approach the person you love, you know, in a different way? Or how can you approach them to have a talk, a nice talk with them, or something like that? We just tell them what to do to help with the situation instead of just saying, yes, he's having an affair. No, he's not having an affair.
Yeah.
This is too flat. I mean, life is not like that. It doesn't really end there. So I think that's where we come, because sometimes people say, oh, I don't read for third parties. This is not really reading for,
Mhm.
you know, for rumors or for, you know, just
It's reading
gossip.
about couple. It's a reading about
Yeah,
couple.
it's reading in order to help out with issues that they cannot fix themselves. Because if they could just talk to each other honestly, then they would need us, really. They would need us to figure out what the problem was.
So it's actually about what you're really, really asking. You have to either find out what the person's really, really asking, or what you think is the best question you could ask to help the person the most.
Yes.
So, like a person could say, like, well, like you said, is somebody having an affair? Which is the question. But the person's got no. The best person to ask if somebody's having an affair with somebody else, if my girlfriend, for example, is having an affair, the best person to ask if she's having an affair is not me, because I'm asking you, I don't know, is her. So it's not a third party reading. You're trying to find out who, so you would need to ask her, what is she up to and what she's doing? And you go, yes, she's having an affair, or no, she's not having an affair. Ah, so why would Greg think that? And then you ask Greg, right? Greg misses her. She's good looking. She's got a bubbly personality. She likes to flirt. So I'm going to think that. And I'm at home alone. I'm worried. So she's not. So you wouldn't know that if you made an assumption that he's having an affair, because now
Yeah.
you try and see what's she up to, right? Oh, she's going all out different places and she's doing this and she's doing that, because that's what she does for work. She goes different
But
places.
you see, like, I think the best question to ask in the beginning is, do you have any proof?
Yeah, something
And
concrete.
if somebody
Yeah.
will tell you, I have a gut, he's cheating on me, that's, you have to dig more, because, you know, just the feeling somebody's cheating on, I think you have to ask the different questions
Yeah,
about,
because there's a thin line between gut and fear.
yes.
If you're insecure, you can think it's your gut feeling, but you know, it's really, you know, fear of losing or fear of finding out that something is going on. So it's really difficult to distinguish, I think.
And because these people have been together for X amount of time, it's a case of, okay, have they had an affair in the past? Or have you had an affair in the past?
Oh,
So
yeah.
therefore you're insecure
Yeah,
about a partner cheating on you.
yeah, doing the same. Doing the
Right.
same with you.
And
Yeah.
that does happen because
Yeah.
that's just a sign of insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Mhm.
Seen that before. Yeah.
But I think it's also for them to ask, okay, what can they do differently in their relationship? And that's a question to ask, like, what can they do that different than they have been doing?
Yeah, to
And
make it
that would
better.
help them, to make it better. And obviously, if things are not turning around, then it's a case of, okay, you have to explore, okay, what's going on with that person? So it's a question to say, what can they do? And what is happening with that other person? Because it's two people here.
Yeah.
But it's always, again, about communication. And it's a case of, can you sit down and actually talk to this person? Or why don't you feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking to that person who's your spouse?
Yeah. As well, once I had a question from the girl about her husband because his best friend was caught cheating on his wife, right? And she was like, "Oh no, he's the best friend of him. My husband must be cheating on
True.
me as well, right?" It was wrong.
Yeah, just because they hang out together doesn't
Yes,
mean,
it doesn't
yeah,
mean it
Yeah.
will happen. Yeah.
yeah.
And one important thing too, sometimes when we ask questions of people and we argue insecure or whatever, they may lie too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is yet another thing we have to check with the cards. Because they may say, oh no, I never cheated before. Susan mentioned
yeah.
it. Well, if the person cheated,
Mhm.
they think the partner will do the same. Maybe they did cheat, but they're not going to to tell you this.
No.
And that you'll have to figure out reading on your own or just getting some cards on the side and say, well, what's the story here? What's
Mhm.
going on here? Because they do lie. They do lie, they omit things.
Yes.
So we have to deal with that as well.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, we'll go to the next question. But when I read the question, it makes it very interesting because now we're not making assumptions. So it changes the whole question. You'll see what I mean. Why doesn't my boyfriend or my husband love me anymore? See? Question's different now because we're not assuming. So, how does she know she doesn't love him? The obvious question. He's busy.
Yeah.
He's busy. He's stressed at work. They're just about to lose a contract. If he doesn't stay late and doesn't get that problem solved, the company is going belly up and he needs to be there and he's stressed. He's forgetting things. He's forgot to check. He left his wallet at home. He's stressed. He's not having a good day, a good week.
Well, and the assumption again is, you have to say, well, how long have you been apart? How long have you been in a marriage? Because if you've been in a marriage, say 20 years, and you've had children, or maybe not children, but whatever. But you get, say, lackadaisy in your relationship. Like you don't go out to dinner together, you don't go necessarily to parties. Like you may your husband or whatever may go to a football game on the weekend, and that's a guy thing. So he doesn't invite you. He just see you, and he doesn't kiss you goodbye or say I love you. And we assume things. We get lazy in our relationships.
Gets drunk and passes out on his friend's couch.
Yeah.
So comes home in the morning. Where were you? Oh, I got drunk. Couldn't drive home. I was drunk. Passed out on my friend's couch. That happens all the time.
Yes, you do that regularly, Greg.
I sleep on my friends' couches all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like and I've been in enough situations, I've been to counseling sessions. The first thing they'll ask you to do as a couple is date. Get to know each other again, date. So when I see this question here, it's like, well, like what, why don't you think that like, you love me anymore? Well, because we don't go anywhere together anymore. We don't go out. We don't say I love you. We don't do this. And it's like, to me, okay, well, then I'd be looking at, okay, what can you do to recapture the magic?
And that's the point. What is love for
Yes,
that person?
exactly.
How does the person want the partner to show love? Because love can be shown in so many different ways. Talking, bringing gifts, taking you out for dinner. Maybe they stopped some types of some actions, but the love is still there. They're showing it in a different way. So this also has to be investigated. As you said, if you've been married for 30 years, then I mean, you cannot expect this, the same fireworks as when you were just meeting and were,
it's a more mature love. But that person may miss that kind of, hugs or I love you. They just want that verbal.
In different ways.
Yeah.
Affection changes.
Yes,
It's still there, but it changes.
Yes.
Or they can come to us because they are like thinking, okay, she will tell me he doesn't love me anymore. I can have an affair right now. I can just go.
Justify their reasons. Yes.
Justify the reasons.
Get a free pass.
Yes.
Get a free pass to do it.
And I guess, well, just like any couple, when you've been together a long time, well, are you wanting to make like reinvent the relationship, or is it really died for you? Is it really over for you? Because those are
Ah,
questions that need to be asked. Like, do you want to rediscover your relationship with your spouse, or is it beyond that point?
so they might be getting bored with the relationship. So
Mhm.
what if you think your partner's having an affair because you've pissed them off and they've just had enough of you?
Well, they don't, they may not, it may not even be an affair. It may not even be an affair. It may be just that the relationship has died or is stale. But if you truly love each other and you won't, there's ways you can rediscover each other if you so choose. Obviously, both people want to reinvent the relationship. And that's something to say, are you okay? So you've been in a relationship a long time. Do you want to reinvent it? Do you want to re-stimulate it? Or do you think that can happen? So these, I mean, these are questions then that we can do a tarot reading on to see whether or not they can rediscover each other.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they will have to understand that it will never be the same. It
Yeah.
will
No.
be different. It will be different. It's not like, having it all over again. It's not this, it's especially because they have changed. They have grown
And the other
older, they have
person,
matured.
and the
Yeah,
other person has
yeah,
too.
both.
Yes.
Yeah, both have changed. Their lives have changed. So it will never be the same.
And that's just it. If you've had children, frequently people in marriages like have made everything about those children, and their lives are greatly different from when they first got married. So it's like rediscovering each other, and that's why there's counselors will say, well, you need to go out and date. You need to
Mhm.
plan and do and go on dates because you need to rediscover each other, rediscover your and reinvent your relationship.
Mhm.
So when you discover that, because we've dug so deep and found this out, that the relationship's getting a bit boring. So the questions change again, like what can we do to remedy it? So I think as a reader, when they come and make an assumption like that, they've now come in, we've got down to the root of the problem because we've really dug deep and found out the question, and therefore we can do what we're supposed to do, is try and help people and actually offer a solution. Now that we know that the relationship is getting a bit boring, what can we do to spice it up again? That was a good suggestion, Susan. Let's start dating again. Find a
Mhm.
nice romantic place to go dress up, right? And look
Right.
nice because it's a first date. Right?
Or they could rent a cabin for the weekend.
See? Yeah. But we're offering remedy, right? Instead of, oh, they're having an affair. We're not saying yes or no. We're actually offering remedy and finding the problem.
Maybe as
Mhm.
a tarot readers, we should ask like how they can revamp the relationship. What's the best activity or what things they can do? Because we are assuming dating is the best for them. Maybe they will like hiking or doing something with
Yeah,
the young.
yeah, because they may not be the whining, dining type. They may be more outdoorsy. It's like asking, okay, what do the two of you enjoy doing together? And things may have changed in their lives, but it's like rediscover something that's they enjoy together.
So that's good. So that would make now for adding to the reading, drawing additional cards to see how we can remedy this. But see, this is the thing. What if the other person, you're assuming they're having an affair because you've lately become extremely annoying and they don't want to spend time with you, and you're not showing any romance towards them, and you're not actually realizing that you're treating them like this because maybe you're stressed and you don't realize that it's your actions that's causing this. Then how do you tell the querent or the person asking the question that maybe you're going a little bit too hard on your partner and they're sort of trying to avoid you and stay away from you because you're upsetting them, and they're actually, and then how do you tell, you see, that's where it gets difficult. How do you tell them that they're actually, it's their actions that's causing it? How do you go nicely about that? Because if I draw up a card and they say because you're shouting at the person all the time, because you're irritated, because your job is bad, you're stressed in your job, you're taking it out on your partner, they can't take it, so they're going out with their friends and saying, look, just give the person a break. I don't want to really talk to them. I can't handle it. And no, and then all of a sudden it's actually got nothing to do with the other person. It's actually this person.
In that case, you ask the questions like in different way because you're not asking anymore about the husband relationship. If the cards say the person is the problem, you just go and phrase the questions about the person, what they can do to stop this behavior, or what causing this behavior, right? What's the issue exactly why the person is angry, for example?
I think you have two different ways of doing it in a very diplomatic way. First is directly with the person who is being a bitch and ask the person, do you feel like you have been acting, do you think your behavior with him has changed, lately? Do you think you're communicating with him in a different way? Kind of, just fishing out, yes, I've been kind of irritating lately. If the person doesn't say it, if they do not accept that they have been horrible with a partner lately, you can change the focus to the husband or to the boyfriend and say, well, I think he would like to ... He would like you to talk to him a little bit more, feel less stressed lately. You kind of, not put the blame on the other person, but say what the other person would like them to do, but never accuse them of being.
Yes.
This just doesn't go well because many people will never accept that they are the issue, that they are the problem.
So because they're asking, okay, does my boyfriend, husband love me anymore? And it's like, okay, what makes you feel that they don't love you anymore? And
yeah.
and what are your actions towards them? Are your actions pushing them away? So it puts them on them to make them look at themselves so that they can say, oh, I'm contributing to them distancing themselves. And then you can say, well, let's look at how you can make that different.
If they accept that they have a problem as well, Susan, and that's
Yes.
the issue, they
Yeah.
usually don't. They usually
Oh.
blame the other party first. They'll say, no, I've been as nice as always, so nothing really changed. And they're lying. And you cannot kind of point the finger and say, no, you're lying. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
if not having the other person, and maybe that's the reading to say, okay, so nothing you're doing is pushing them away. So then it's a saying, then we can do a reading and say, okay, let's take a look at how that person is feeling towards you.
mhm.
And that within the cards, it might turn around and say, well, yeah, they're feeling pushed away. Your actions are pushing them away. Then it gives you permission to open that door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to see 3 tarot readers. I've got a question.
Yeah.
How many children will I have when I get married?
10.
Then
Just
Well, we have the problem to begin with is that they're not even married.
yes.
Yes. They're not married and they already
Yes.
want to know how many children they'll have. So,
Oh,
So it's putting the cart before the horse.
yes. I think the first question is the person ready for relationship?
well, do they have a relationship? We don't even know.
Or they have a relationship?
They
That's
may not
no, I
even
don't.
have a
That's why I'm asking
relationship.
you when.
Yeah, that's the thing. They may never get married. They may never have children. They may get married and the husband cannot have kids, or she may not have kids and she doesn't know why. Or, they have children and they don't get married. That is another possibility. So the possibilities are endless and they're assuming two things. I mean, they're just really, that's a 7 of Cups scenario here.
Yeah.
Totally 7 of Cups,
Well,
completely
and
7
this
of Cups.
person may be wanting to be married and wanting to have children, just like you said, the 7 of Cups. And they may have a boyfriend, but that boyfriend isn't even offering marriage. So it's through questions to say, well, are you seeing someone currently? Yeah, but he won't ask me, he won't get married. Well, then how can you have children?
I,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because he's not, obviously they're not ready.
Yeah, you can have children without getting married.
True.
Yes.
So first, are you in a relationship? Second, have you discussed marriage?
Potential. Yeah.
Yeah, potential marriage. Third, if you have discussed potential marriage, or if you're engaged, let's imagine, that they're already engaged. That's good. That's not really assuming much. It's okay. We'll get married because I have the ring on my finger. What if have you discussed having children? Some
Mhm.
couples don't agree about that. Some couples, the husband wants it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes
Yeah.
they don't. They don't
What's wrong with
feel
having
like
10 children?
yes. So that's the thing. You just how would you handle that? I would ask about the relationship. I agree. Are you in a relationship? Second, have you discussed marriage? No, we haven't. So let's forget the whole question then.
But you see, I think the way how the question is phrased, I would say this person is very young because like marriage and kids, it's like, can you see my future? Like
Uh-huh.
seeing the crystal ball, right? They want a quick answer, right?
Uh-huh. And also, what usually happens with that sort of scenario is that the person doesn't really know what makes them happy.
Yeah.
They have that image of, the house with the picket fence and the dog and the kids and the husband and everything. And sometimes that's not really it. They do it all and they're unhappy. So I think it goes much, much deeper than just having kids and getting married. It's a person who is looking for satisfaction, emotional satisfaction somewhere.
And
Because
they think having
uh-huh.
children will be the answer,
Yeah, the
end all
answer.
be
And
all.
getting married too will be the answer to all her problems.
Yeah.
They want to just make sure this options is for them in future, right?
Yeah, if that's what would make her happy.
Yeah.
What
Well,
does she
what they
need?
perceive or
Yeah.
assume will make them happy.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and what will really make them happy.
Like even getting a puppy or a kitten. I mean, many people assume that little animal is going to be the end all be all, and then they've got furniture all clawed up and shoes chewed, and oh, you mean I actually have to go puppy school and walk them?
Yeah, it's a child. When you have a cat, dog, or any pet, you are already.
Yes, well, a child is even more demanding. It's like, do you understand
Yeah.
what you're asking?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and follow us. And feel free to leave a comment.